Welcome to another edition of the most consistent, prolific, and dedicated uploads in YouTube's history. This is Sean's View Entertainment right here on YouTube.com. Make sure to like this video and subscribe. Very interesting letter that surfaced online. It got leaked online. An ongoing problem that was ensuing between the Ultimate Warrior and the then WWF, which is now known, of course, as the WWE. Now, let's just go into it here, and I can get your views and opinions on it. Of course, I'll give my view of it. The following has leaked on to the wrestling news websites, Wrestling Inc., No DQ, you know. Now, there has been a story going around for years that the Ultimate Warrior held up Vince McMahon in WWE for money going into the SummerSlam 1991 pay-per-view, leading to the Warrior being suspended right after. Warrior would remain under contract to the WWE until late 1992. The letter from Warrior demanded money, and Vince's reply surfaced online this past week. Imagine all these years later, finally just comes online now. All these years later. Wouldn't you know, you can't keep nothing secret. There had been stories that the Warrior actually demanded money the weekend of the pay-per-view, but the letters show that it was 7 weeks before the pay-per-view. Vince essentially agreed to the new terms, but suspended the Warrior right after the event. And you can view this at the link below. Vince's reply and what the Warrior had to say and all that. Listen, the Warrior demanded more money. You know, he wanted more of a cut of the money. He wanted, he wanted to work less dates. There was a variety. Like I said, you got to go read this stuff. And I think it was pretty outrageous what the Ultimate Warrior was asking. Because at that time, listen, I was born in 1988. And, I can't give you, I'm just going based off facts and figures and history. Like I said, I'm a long-time WWE fan. I've never went away. I've never took a break. And I have done my history. I've gone back and seen the facts and the logistics that are behind it. And it's to my knowledge that the Ultimate Warrior was huge. Hulk Hogan was major. I mean, we're talking ticket sales, merchandise sales, as good and as great as the Ultimate Warrior was. And, he did bring a good attendance. I'm going to give the Ultimate Warrior his due, but he was not on the level of Hulk Hogan as concerns buy rates and ticket sales and merch sales and the 1-900 hotline. I mean, there was a lot of dynamics in there, but when you're comparing the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan, yes, at that time, they were the two biggest names in the industry. But what Ultimate Warrior was asking and, what really should have been going down, in my opinion, is a little ridiculous, because Hulk Hogan at that time, nobody could touch him. Hulk Hogan was the end-all, be-all. He drew the most money. He drew the most gates. He drew the most merch. I mean, you could not touch Hulk Hogan on that factor. Like I said, I'm not taking anything away from the Ultimate Warrior, but what the Ultimate Warrior demanded in this letter from Vince McMahon, I would have denied it myself. And I don't know how Vince McMahon was able to come back with such a good response, as in not going, flipping out and, just being nasty and rude and just firing the Ultimate Warrior right there. So this is very controversial. I mean, the Ultimate Warrior is known to do these kind of things in the past. So, at this point of the game, though, I'm glad that the WWE and the Ultimate Warrior have able to, come to terms and sort all these problems out. But I think back in the day in 91, going into 92, when the Ultimate Warrior was demanding these things and saying that he should be on the same level of Hulk Hogan, in my opinion, was absolutely absurd. Like I said, you can have your opinions of Hogan, you can have your opinions of the Warrior, you can state whoever you thinks better, who's the better wrestler, but at the end of the day, Hulk Hogan did not amount to what Hulk Hogan did. And that, let me try to gather my thoughts here. The Ultimate Warrior did not add up to what Hulk Hogan had back in the day. Your comments and your opinions, subscribe.